to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, I'm still recovering from this. I think it was the flu. And hopefully I won't cough too much on the episode. But this is the first day that I have felt well enough to speak in long sentences without throat pain and having to cough and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I have spent the past week really in bed for the most part, doing little crafts here and there when I've been able to get upright, spending a lot of time with my pooches. And wow, it's a doozy. I haven't been sick for uh it's been a couple years actually, and I think it's because I don't leave the house. My family had the flu over the holidays, and I didn't get it. And I don't know if this one is just hitting me twice as hard because I haven't been sick, but it's been quite a doozy. So I've been taking some Sudafed, sinus and headache, and my sinuses have been so congested and I've been so miserable that the underlying headache from my stroke was difficult to notice. So that's how miserable I've been. But the headache is starting to be apparent again, and all of my normal stroke symptoms. So I don't know, it's like which is the worst of two evils, honestly. But anyway, I'm starting to get back to normal, back to my normal, and I think that that's a good thing. So today I wanted to talk about what I heard this morning in my morning meeting was talking about being different and being unique. I always say in this podcast that I know I'm not unique. When I start talking about a topic that feels like something that might be unique, I always follow up with, well, I know that I'm not the only one, right? I know I'm not unique here, and that there's somebody else out there who has felt this way. And I heard this morning somebody mention, like, although it is important to know that I'm not unique in order for me to be able to build fellowship and feel connected to other people, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that I am special, So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Um, a lot of times when I talk about topics, I'm talking about them really all the time, I would say. I'm talking about them because I need to be reminded of it myself. And I'm talking about it out loud because it really drives it home, number one. And two, it's hoping that my learning experience and my sometimes emotional suffering as I learn and am reminded of these important things, that talking about it out loud will help somebody else remember it as well. So this morning, we listened to a story out of our big book that was a Native American story. It was from a Native American man, I believe. And these Native American stories are always really powerful to me. I don't know why it is, but I think because there's like it comes across to me always as this really strong sense of who they are, the Native Americans, like a really strong bond to who they are as a Native American. And I don't know that I have this really strong sense of who I am, other than like as far as a ethnicity, other than I feel great pride in being an American, period. But I don't have like I'm not 60% something that makes me feel really strong, a really strong bond to that side of my family background, if that makes sense. So when I hear from these Native Americans, their stories and how they talk about their experiences, it really comes across as very powerful to me. And what I heard this morning was this sense of growing up as a Native American, and this person actually was had physical traits that made them look very different than a traditional Native American, and how that made them feel unique. And I was thinking this morning that when I was growing up, I didn't feel like I had any physical traits that were necessarily unique, but I did feel like internally that I was unique. On the inside, I felt like this extreme sense of sadness and grief all the time. Um, I shouldn't say all the time, a lot. I felt it a lot. And that made me feel unique because I didn't see on the outside, I didn't see other people struggling, it didn't look like, with any sense of sadness or grief. Like when something sad happened in the world, I didn't see, it wasn't apparent to me that other people were really marinating over these things, that they were really set aback and like had to really process things like when somebody died or somebody was struggling. It caused me to really have to think through um life's purpose. I would always go back to these grand ideas about what is life's purpose and what are we all here for? And I'm so small compared to the big universe. Like I was always thinking about that kind of stuff. And it really made me feel alone. A lot of times it made me feel isolated. And I think that's just because I didn't talk about it. I'm going to pause and let you know that this is really exhausting for me to talk. So it's a good test for me to see how much can I get through for the episode. So it's probably going to be a bit shorter than I intended. So, but I'm glad that I'm at least giving it a try. But I feel my stroke symptoms really, really coming on, my vestibular symptoms. So talking is really using a lot of my energy, and I'm feeling very out of breath. So I want to try to make this as brief as possible because of that. But when I start feeling those same feelings today, those feelings of isolation, which I can very much feel when I feel sick, like I do, I tend to, because it's takes so much energy to talk, I start pulling away. I start feeling like I need to just go lay in bed. I need to self-care. And for me, self-care is also, it includes me reaching out to people and letting people know that I don't feel well, because I need to include that connection in my self-care. So that's why I'm recording today, because I need a little bit of that. And I'm noticing how difficult that struggle is for me. But when I start isolating, I'm building that self-constructed prison. I'm erecting those bars around me that are putting me at risk for being in a mentally unhealthy state. Um, and I have to remember at these moments when things are really, really tough for me that I'm not alone. I still have my higher power, no matter how much I might feel disconnected from other people, because I have to rest, that I still have that higher power with me no matter what. And and that plays a huge role in me not feeling alone. Um, when when I'm feeling isolated and I'm feeling unique, I can start feeling like poor me. I could start feeling that I'm never going to get out of this. I could stop feeling like I'm a piece of that greater whole. I heard that this morning. And and it's when I start participating again that I'm able to feel whole myself. And so I'm just trying to remember today that I am still a part of the human race. I still am here to share my experience, strength, and hope as I trudge through this sickness that, gosh, doesn't end. Um, so I'm not going to apologize that this episode was so much shorter than I wanted it to be, but I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for being able to show up and remember that I am a part of a greater whole, and that it's okay that I haven't been able to do my podcast, and that just me showing up today is an example that even though I've got all of these things going on. And when you feel like you can't reach a lower low, then here you are with the flu, that it's still tiny little efforts like showing up are an example to somebody else that the fight is always worth it. It's always worth it to keep showing up, and things are going to get better. They always do. And side note, I listened to The Nightingale. That's something that I've done over the past week. Amazing, amazing book. If you haven't listened to it, I'm going to end there because I'm really, really out of energy and dizzy and all of that fun stuff. But thanks so much for listening. And hopefully I can try again tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks.